estate gets real.
I'm Rachel Davis.
And I'm Kate Baldwin.
I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday.
Go.
Welcome back to another episode of REI Baddies. I'm Rachel Davis, Army veteran, real estate investor, and your co-host.
And I'm Kate Baldwin, luxury real estate agent, co-host of REI Baddies, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know. This podcast is where we bring real stories from real investors that took action and did their first deal within the first 6 months. No fluff, just real people making moves.
Today, we've got a power couple joining us from San Antonio. It's my friends, Vin and Michelle. They're capital raisers with an incredible vision focused on multifamily and co-living, recently raising over $1 million with their network, the Amigos Club. They're proving that capital raising isn't just about money, it's about building trust, community, and legacy. Vin and Michelle, welcome to REI Baddies.
Well, hello. Yay. Oh my gosh. And they just all got back from a nice weekend in Arizona. Look at those. I'll be there next year. Goals, right? We all have to set those. So, well, I guess let's start with the foundation. Like, how did you guys, well, first of all, since I know you all know each other, and we talk about this often in the podcast, and a lot of people that are probably watching this don't know who you are. First of all, how did you two get together? Before we get into your first deal, like how did your relationship start?
So the short answer of that, because I can probably make you ladies cry if I actually tell the full story. Real estate and business is so ingrained into our DNA that, truth be told, real estate brought us together.
And masterminding, yes. I mean, maybe I found him on a cheap dating website, but who's that?
Hey, don't be hating on the cheap dating websites. I found one that is free, okay? I just found out about Facebook is free, and they pair you up with friends of friends, so you can find out if they're like creeping or not. That's why out there, all the single ladies out there trying to date in this fun world that we live in.
Yeah, no, but mastermind.
So I guess basically then so you guys obviously are together, and now what was that first deal that you guys did? So like, how did you get started in this industry, and like give us a play-by-play?
Yeah, so I actually got started as a contractor about a little bit longer than that, about 11 years ago. So instead of going the real estate agent route, which most people think when they want to get in investing, I went let's do general contracting route. Let's be a female in a GC world. And so South Florida, I was a general contractor, and then COVID hit. I thought at that time you have to be where you're investing. So I flew back home, which is San Antonio, Texas. Now I know you don't have to be, but I flew back home and started my career here in the real estate investing world of it. And then Vin, he's an OG. He's been in the game for like 21 years exact this year. So he's the one with all the experience in our group.
Son is as old as you've been in the game, Vin.
Yeah, that really makes me sound old now.
Whatever, Vin. You're a baby.
So Vin,
I graduated high school 27 years ago. So
yeah.
No, yeah. So
how'd you guys get in the deal?
Yeah, like how did you get your deal?
So you're doing the GC thing. Yeah, so I came down here. I was in real estate for approximately like 2 years. I started my real estate career with my mom. So all about like the impact driven and purpose driven. So I was already an entrepreneur, and I just told Mom, I said, look, I'm controlling and I love being, I am already an entrepreneur, but there is one thing. If we are going to do this, we're not going to do it about the money. We're going to do this about purpose, right? And so with that, we had our properties together, and with us having properties together, it ended up Ben kept coming in and wanting to like go to Home Depot with us and put his 2 cents in. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just join forces? And at that time, Mom was like, this is way too much. I'm a W-2 earner, recently retired. The checks I write for our business is like what I've made in a year. So, okay, new fiance, happy here. Let me pass over the torch to you. And then Vin's like, great, I'm going to come in. And so since then, 2023, Vin and I have been investing together. Yeah.
Awesome. I don't know if I knew that part. I
So
knew,
as
like,
a couple, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know Vin, like, from you telling us, like, you were always very interested in Michelle, hence the, like, constant Home Depot runs with her. But what was that first deal that you guys closed together?
So the first deal, actually every deal have all been subject to properties. So Michelle on the acquisition side is very good at finding those hidden gems here in our backyard. And so the portfolio we have is all here. Actually, no, we've actually done some deals with other OC members outside of Texas, but our personal portfolio is all here in Texas, all subject to.
Now, did you sell the subject to, or you own them?
We own them. I'm a hoarder.
No, yeah.
I don't buy purses, I buy houses. So I am a
Hey, let's do that. I'm all for that. That makes a lot more sense. I'm definitely on that boat. So give us a play-by-play, like on the first deal that you guys did sub to. How did you find it? How did it go? Obviously, we know that Vin's been in this. You're new to this, right? So you moved to San Antonio. You're new. You're a newbie. You're out of the GC world. How did that look to you? What was that feeling of doing a sub to deal? And were there any like, oh, I don't know about this? I mean, I know you had Vin, but
yeah, 100%. So I did 19 deals before I did a sub 2 deal. So my first year I bought 19 properties because I was on a mission. And that was very truly intentional. If I'm leaving South Florida and coming back home, we are going to make sure that we can get everything done, business plan and so forth. Though having 19 deals as cash deals and the way we purchase those, which is like the BRRRR strategy, and I still was very new to subject to. So when I went through that process of the BRRRR strategy, we switched. The interest rates went up, and we had to pivot. So going in thinking, okay, you're somewhat experienced. Let's go ahead and get a sub 2 done. I wasn't that experienced on that. So we really leaned into mentorship, and we leaned into people that had done it. And so I was like, look, let's hire a transaction coordinator that can do the paperwork properly. Let's talk to people that have put sub 2 down. And at that time, we weren't as involved in the current community that we're in that really focuses on creative finance. So I think that's when we bought our membership to get in, so we can know the people that are around us that are already doing it, so we can have a minimal mistakes. I do remember on our first sub 2 deal, we had someone here locally that is an OG in it. He's been doing this 20 something years. And he was asking me like all these questions. We went to his office and I'm like, I'm so excited. We bought our first sub 2. We're getting our sub 2 deal. We just got it under contract. And he was like, well, did you ask this? And do you know this? And do you know that? And I'm like, and I don't remember all the questions. I just remember he just deflated my whole happiness. And he's like, yeah, you're not ready for subject 2. And so we walk out of there and I'm like, Vin, are we doing the right thing? Like, do we know what we're doing? And so we went back and we made sure. And then even with the TC that I spoke with the transaction coordinator, I'm like, I've done so many deals, but it doesn't matter. I've not done this type of deal. So I need you to give me a play by play. And if I ask way too many questions, well, I'm paying for your service. So you kind of have to answer them.
Amen.
So I did. That was, and we still have that in our portfolio, that property, and we're still alive. And it's been, I guess, we're going on 2 years now. So, that other person, and I say this all to be, if there's something that you are looking to go and get and you feel it's right in your gut, don't let the people around you deflate your success or what you're trying to accomplish. Be around the people that are going to actually bring you up and give you the advice versus that. Vin knows, like I said, we were in that office, and this gentleman, I appreciate what he did, but I also just was like, we're going to prove him wrong.
Yeah. And honestly, it sounds like he could have been a complete, more I like to say, give you more courtesy, information, because you could probably have done some stuff with him. You never know, right? So you could have built that relationship with him. It's his loss. But like you said, if you don't get the answer from that person, move on and get the answer from the right person. Don't let that shut you down, because there's people out there, that'll do that to you.
100%. It was funny because the checklist, as she said, I think, for example, out of 10 questions, there was one yes and one I think so maybe. I'm like, that is a lot of no's. But The strength that Michelle and I have is that we're real good of finding the solution. We never focus on the problem. Like, okay, well, damn, now we're in the mud. How do we get out? Who do we ask? Who can we leverage in our network that has the experience that we need to get out of this? And
Exactly.
so, yeah, so a lot of things that we do, we treat them the way we treat our contractors. Anytime we got to get a bid, we always get it from 3 people. So just because this guy is a negative Nancy doesn't mean that somebody over here that doesn't have the same information, more information or less information, might have a completely different outlook on the situation and be like, ooh, it's like, well, you guys might want to do this. And that's exactly the way that we've done it. And that's the beauty of this community, that there's always...
It is. I love this community. Like, I feel like, it's funny being sort of new and being so far away from so many of y'all. Like, when I try to explain what PACE is, I'm like, they're like, are you in a cult? Like, no.
Find that. No, just kidding. What is it called?
I like it, and I think I started to use the word networking instead of community, and then because like my network sounds way less culty than my community.
No, I always tease people.
The white guy and
yeah. What are you gonna say?
No, I always tease people with that, right? And I'm like, well, what does a cult mean to you? And I'm like, you just say that word and you don't really know the definition. But if that's what you feel,
I know.
like,
it's funny because
then yes, we're a cult.
Okay, we're a really awesome cult.
Yeah.
That really love each other, support each other, constantly give each other information, constantly like lifting up each other, constantly like sharing our knowledge. Yeah, if that's a cult I want to be in.
Exactly.
Well, let's kind of flip it a little bit then, because I think this is a great way to bring this in. Like, every journey has its bumps, right? So I guess we're getting into the cult part of the story where something bad happens. Can you share a time when something's gone wrong? Because you guys do a lot of deals.
Yeah.
So when something has gone sideways in a deal, how have you handled it? And how have you guys handled it as a team?
Well, we have a couple of deals that have gone sideways. I'm like, we'll pick the one that we usually talk about. And so I was actually in the early stages of my real estate because I'm like, oh, I can do anything. And sometimes you can, but sometimes you also have to realize that there may be things in other people you need to bring in. So I was a very baby investor and I really wanted to get a residential assisted living. That is converting a home into multiple rooms for seniors to live in. It is a type that you do have to get certifications and licenses and all of that. So though I'm a contractor, a contractor made the deal go bad. And so with that, I had private money lenders on there and it was a liquid $225,000 error and mistake. And that was over time. And so it was over 18 months of litigation, fighting, Vin and I trying to do deals together. Energy was always down, speaking to attorneys. And we had to come to a pivotal point. And I said, Vin, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can keep fighting. I don't know the outcome. The contractor, and we tried as much as we could, but you come to a point in a certain thing and it's, do we just want peace in our life to be able to take this away and just be done with it and just consider it a loss of monetary value, but so much life experiences? Or let it continue to weigh us down in moving forward. And so that was something that was from my quote unquote past, right? Of me and mom doing and Vin getting in it affects personal business and so forth. And the cool thing about this guy, he's always in agreement and alignment and support. If anything, he pushes me a lot more when I have certain goals. And he's like, dude, that's like low. Like, is that it? I thought you were going to tell me more. Right. And I'm like, you know what? And so,
it's such a good partner.
Yeah. And I'm a pretty ambitious, ambitious woman, but he puts my feet to the fire. So at that point, it was a pivotal moment. And this was just, I don't know now, a year ago? No, like 18 months ago?
No, it's been longer than that. It's been probably over 2 years.
Maybe. Yeah. It's been a couple of years, but since then, I don't know if I would still be holding on to that. right? And if I held on to that, I wouldn't have my eyes open to anything else that we've been able to do within those 2 years, the last 2 years of how we've been growing.
So how did you get out of it?
Well, funny story. The person that said we didn't know the sub 2 that we weren't prepared for, he actually was able to wholesale that. Well, not wholesale the deal. He was able to wholesale the deal, get me out of the deal because I had hard money on it. I was exhausted my extensions and they wanted to just basically foreclose on us. So after speaking with attorneys and really just talking, it was a lot of moving parts. I was like, hey, PMLs, legally, you guys, I don't have to pay you back because of XYZ. This is what happened, but that's not who we are. So we took on that debt. That's part of that $225,000. We took on that debt. This gentleman was able to find someone, come in, take the property, and I didn't get a foreclosure. I didn't. So work with your hard money lenders, even when they tell you they can't, because remember that they don't want your property back. And they were making very good money on all the interest only payments. So at the end of the day, it didn't really affect their balance sheet as much as they per se it made it seem.
So who you're saying they? Who's they?
Hard money lender, right? So the hard money lender was, push back on them if you're in a situation, because they usually will be like, well, nope, you can't write it off. And as investors, we get flustered sometimes and we'll just be like, okay, well, it's just going to be a foreclosure, or I don't have options. And
you always have options.
Yeah, it's just how much do you want to fight for them, right? And that's where we were at. Then to the point that the hard money lender, I'm the borrower, stopped answering my phone calls and was only speaking to this third party. So I feel we got very blessed. No foreclosure. I didn't have to pay any money back anymore, right? They took it out of the way the deal was structured. We walked away. Yes, does it sting? Was it a couple of $100,000? But you just move on. You just keep moving forward. So
I love one thing, you guys, you're the first team that when we've brought this forward has mentioned letting go of a deal. Like knowing that you've got your jaws in something that's no longer serving like what your vision is. So I think that's really cool.
That's a lot of money.
That's only the money I count. I don't want to count the rest.
Well, and time is money too. So the more time you spend on it, not only like actual time, but the time in your,
mental,
dealing with it and the stress of it, mental, the stuff in your gut, like that kind of overall stress you can't get rid of.
I was very in a depressed state, right? You're in the state
of, exactly.
Did I do the right? Do I know what I'm doing? Right. Did I buy too fast? And
there's a lot of questions, right?
Yeah. So,
but I guess, what did you learn from that?
Oh my gosh, so much, right? So, the thing is that I learned that we're loyal. And when I say that is we had the option to turn on our private money lenders. We did it. We knew that we could, like you said, when it's no longer serving you, you got to learn to let go, even if it stings, because you just don't know if it's going to hold you back for all your future. And we're, as human beings, and if you're an entrepreneur, you're usually pretty stubborn. You think you can do everything. You try to do everything, but there is a time that you have to regroup and say, is this really good for us anymore? And Vin was there fighting with me, and we were fighting it and kept going. And then finally, when I said, I just think I'm going to get emotional. And I said, I think I'm just done. I'm really it's holding us back of everything else that we're meant to be and be for. He's like, all right, let's move on. Let's keep going. And let's make the calls that we need to make. We had a lot of mentors on our side, helping us through the process. And then now we've been able to just, really be blessed on everything we've built after that. So
I think that loyalty stuck out to me, Vin. I love that, how you guys, like in this industry, it's easy to get caught up in it and just say, you know what, I never see those guys again. But it's not true. It's a small world. Right?
You'd be surprised how small everything is. So 100%. So the conversation that Michelle's talking about wasn't as cut and dry as that.
Well, obviously we're on a 45-minute podcast, and I think that's something you guys should share. That sounds like I would actually listen to that very much. So if you guys ever want to put together that piece, let us know. We'll share it, because I think that it just shows the characteristics that like this program, like our network offers, and I love hearing stories where you guys, pulled through and it wasn't about you. It was about, and I think Rachel and I focused primarily on our clients, making sure they were taken care of first.
I love this, but what I want to do is, so you guys were able to close out something that was no longer serving you. And I want to talk about, though, the time that you've been able to spend, that you were spending on that, on what you've been building.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
And I do know you guys recently raised over $1 million with the Amigos Club, and like, that's freaking huge. So I would love it if you could walk us through how you pulled that together, what worked, what surprised you, and what you learned from it.
Yeah, Vin?
Yeah, so the easiest way I could say is that we cut the cancer out and we just moved forward and kind of started the treatment side of what we're doing now. Yeah, when Michelle says, let's move on, that's pretty much what we did. I wasn't happy with it because that's just not who I am. We're very different that way, but it really did allow us to get that off the plate and be focused on the future and think positive about what's to come. And so we went on the shopping spree. That's really the easiest way to put it is like Michelle said, she buys properties, not purses. So I'm always like, well, go shopping because that benefits me as well. A purse doesn't. And so I've always leveraged other people's money, OPM. So I've never put in a single penny of my own money in any deal that I've done over 20 plus years. And so when Michelle and I started doing the same thing, it was the same thing. Just because there's subject to doesn't mean that you don't have closing costs. Doesn't mean that there isn't other things that come into play. So we got so good at it that even with subject to, her and I have walked away from deals with cash in our pocket, just the way we've structured deals. So we've like I said, we're all about the solution. So we're always trying to be as creative as we humanly can be, even in the lending business that we're in now. And even when we work with private money lenders for our personal stuff. And so for 2025, we assessed where we're at and what we wanted to do and what our superpower is. And our superpower is connecting with people and raising capital, building those relationships. And so for 2025, that's what we're doing. So we've done a couple clubs. The first one, we had to do a proof of concept. So we're like, let's try $500,000. Let's see what we can do. And honestly, with our network, we could have probably done that with 2 people. But we've been doing this so long that a lot of people that we've worked with now have children that are 18, 19, 20 years old of legal age. They're like, hey, my son's got $5,000, $8,000, $13,000. Can they also work with you? I'm like, well, I can't really do much with $13,000 to lock up a property. It doesn't make good business sense. I'm like, I love you. I'm sure you have a great kid, but as a business standpoint, can't really do that. And so again, because of this community, we met Stella at Squad Up, and it's like, oh my God, that is the missing piece of what we need. We've been saying no for too long to the wrong people, to people we actually want to work with, but we couldn't wrap legally how to structure a deal to have it make sense to where everybody's protected, because we're very transparent. Like Michelle said, we could have walked away from that deal legally and not really had any recourse or anything like that. But it's not how we're built, because we're in the relationship business. I never want to do one deal with one person. I'm looking at the next 5 to 10 years. And some people started off with us with $30,000, and now they're in multiple deals with us with north of $250,000, $500,000, and that's the course.
That's awesome. So do you have like a structure? So you basically, and this is kind of bizarre, because I've been listening to all these podcasts, and you just basically do a fund. Like now you can take basically if you have like a $600,000 goal, you can actually put that $15,000 in, $13,000 in. Am I going in the right direction?
Yeah, I was going to say the short answer is no. We can't call it a fund. We cannot call it a syndication. It is active participation.
Participation.
Yeah.
Shut down, everyone.
No, and you know what? It goes really well with what we have in our community, right? And so
this is what I want to do. Like, I'm so stoked.
Yeah. So this, you do have to, we could have gone and raised, like you mentioned, the 500,000, we did it in 10 days. It's all learning. Can we do it? Second guess, but we just went into our network, really started, we were a call center for 2 weeks, and we were able to do it. Second, with 3 months later, proof of concept was able to do it. We had a lot of people thinking that the club wasn't going to close, and we already had a wait list, right? So people are understanding what we're doing, and they're understanding we're truly doing it with a mission. And so they're like, we want to join. So a second club gets open. Second club, 21 days, we raised 1.2 million. It was probably a little bit less than that, but I was sick for about 6 days, but we were just putting a million at, million and 1.2 at 21 days. But the main thing is, Kate, that we could have gone to like what regular capital raisers do. And with $1 million in the capital raising world, you could have 3 or 4 people that you can go to. That's not what, that's not the story we want. We want 41 members, just like we have, to be able to be with us on the journey and the experience.
So oh my gosh. So like, for example, like I have a teacher that's local. She's like, Kate, I have $100,000. Like those, is that?
Yes.
And you're like, I want to help her. Like I got into this. I was like, oh my God, this is such a great opportunity I can use. I have friends that have some money, and then we can start like doing these projects together. And then I got distracted. So when I called Rachel this morning, she's like, hello, you're talking to like Finn and Michelle today. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm not going to geek out right now on like live on our talk show, but I will geek out later and let you talk, because Rachel is gonna look at this. Is Rachel. She starts scratching her head when I start talking too much. She's like,
I think I was gonna say, I think we just lost Rachel. Rachel's
just gonna reel me in. Like, she's gonna need reel it in. Hey, this makes for fun content. So you know what? Go with it, because this is so cool. Okay, so we got our second club. I'm hella notes.
Yeah. So
club. Now, is this club have a name?
Yeah, Amigos Investment
So
Club.
This is all Amigos. Okay. So do you do a specific, like your first one, was it towards one project?
No.
You were raising for?
No.
So no. So that is the beauty of how we built everything. So with our little mascots, Sancho and Pancho back here in the corner. So most people, I would say probably north of 90% raise money for a specific project, a specific asset, a specific address.
Yeah.
We are not locked down. We do not have the handcuffs that way. We are a debt club, which means currently, I think right now, we are about to be into 7 different transactions, if I'm not mistaken, Michelle.
With 500,000.
With 500,000, we're in 7 different deals. And so we're excited with $1 Million Club. So it is structured a little bit different. I will say that the Amigos Club is getting a lot of eyeballs. It's getting a lot of traction. People are starting to take note. I think a lot of people that are in the same space are restructuring based off of things that they're seeing us do. And that's just probably me patting myself on the back. I'm gonna take credit for it, even though maybe it's only 50% true. But yeah, I don't want to say recreating, but we're twisting the model a little bit to where
I love it. Do it.
Yeah, and so on the flip side,
I'm only 90 miles from Cuba. We can have like a Havana one down here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Amigos in Mexico, and we got the Cubans in Key West, and
what were you going to say?
Yeah. So the flip side on that, so we have people that join the community because they want to learn how to be a good private money lender. They want to learn what is the questions that we ask. But I think the main thing of why we all partner together is because of the impact on the borrowers. So obviously we're on a podcast, so can't go too deep into it, but where on the borrowers, we really help co-living, sober living, any impact driven initiative, if they're helping veterans, transitional housing. And we're able, when these borrowers come to us, truly give them 100% financing on a short-term play. I've been able to really create this box where we even have people that come to us and they take money at the table, at closing table, they take it away. So, and that is with working not just with private money, but leveraging brokers that we can use, hard money and DSCR. But the beauty of it is our private money lenders. So your $100,000 teacher, you can always say, hey, I went to go flip a house, on Fisher Island, and I was able to make $1 million off of it, giving an example. Or you know what? We were able to help a co-living, or very much in South Florida, an ALF. We were able to get a small ALF going with 100,000. You were able to, with your 100,000, was able to help 10 patients have an actual place to stay. And by the way, you still made money and an ROI. So that is the story and the things we're doing. So that is why we love Amigo.
Are you working with any 401ks yet? Yes, I understand all that very well. I mean, how do people get into your community? Like into Amigos? No, sail away. That's what we're here for. Of course. How long do you like, what kind of projects are you looking for the 1.2? Is it long term, 12 months, 6 months, 3 months? What do you guys use, like a certain software, or do you guys do everything like within your own? Do you send out like weekly, or I mean monthly or quarterly breakdowns of where their money is going, the money that's coming in? Okay, cool. No, getting the money in your hands. Yeah. Oh my God.
Actually, that leads to another. Were you gonna say something? Because I had a question.
Vince, like.
No. I was going to say that again comes back full circle. That allows Michelle and I to really lean into our superpower: capital raising and connecting with people, because everything else is being taken care of.
It's huge.
Which leads me, actually, this is a perfect segue into my question.
Yeah.
So, being a husband-wife team myself with having a business, I know that sometimes, and even just business owners writ large, the divide on this is what you're responsible for, this is what I'm responsible for. How do you guys as a married couple and business partners navigate that? Also, and I could asterisk this, asking for a friend.
I mean, you guys are so cute. You have pink and blue. I mean, this is like in the same house, but same, not together.
Yeah, so I mean, we've shared an office in the past. It just makes it hard because one of us, sometimes both of us, were always on the phone. So one of us is in the office and the other one would have to walk out. So we're like, this isn't working anymore. And so in our previous home, we're actually on separate floors. Now we're on opposite sides. But the beauty of our relationship, which is really the yin and the yang, is I'm very creative. She's creative as well, but she's very analytical. So my strengths are, I won't say her weaknesses, but my weaknesses are 100% her strengths. And so it works out well. I would say where we kind of bump heads is that I would say that we're both alphas, whether you want to say male or female, we're just alphas.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would say probably me, I will die on the hill from my point of view. And so sometimes that's the most challenging part. But, we make it work. We complement each other. We're so alike in so many ways, and when we're different, we're so different. And those are the right places that we should be different in. What in the hell was that? Holy crap.
Damn husbands.
I love this.
Yeah, that's sweet. Oh my gosh, did you guys see? Oh, I love this. And first of all, I am the third wheel in this relationship. I have claimed them. I know it's so funny because like I couldn't be what Rachel and I are starting to do with our talk show, and then we're going in our business. Michael's like the, I guess, analytic person, the person that just puts everything in place for both of us. So I'm like, God, I'm the third wheel. I love it. I don't know. I mean, it's been great actually. Like just building those relationships. And so do you guys, I have one more, I know I'm going to try to say one last question that I didn't ask, because I think what we've seen the common denominator in all of our interviews is JVing, or what I want to say is squat up. I understand that you guys are squatting up together. Obviously you're a couple, but do you squat up with anyone, or is that like, do you feel like that's a necessary thing within your company, or is it just something that sometimes happens?
So I will address that for us personally, and Michelle can correct me or chime in, but I know where we both stand because we're always very intentional. We always stop to take a moment to kind of assess where we're at, what we've done, and what we're moving forward with. At this stage in my life, when I was younger and dumber, I had to do everything by myself, and it's just here. This is my circle. I'm doing everything. If I need this, I'm gonna go figure it out. If I need that, I'm gonna go buy it. This stage in my life, this stage in our life, I have zero interest in building anything from the ground up, doing anything by myself.
Good.
Outside of the businesses that Michelle and I have zero interest in starting a brand new business from the ground up. I am very interested in buying existing businesses. I am very much in line for continuing real estate and doing other stuff, but it's got to be with other people. I no longer want to just sit here and do it all by myself and have 100% ownership, because that also means I have 100% of the headache. But if I can partner up, delegate, and find other people that either have more experience, or again, their strength is something that isn't our strength, and it makes sense to go into a partnership together, 100%. We have an accountability group where there's 5 of us, and everybody has a different seat at the table, and they all have different responsibilities. 100%. I'd rather have a small percentage of 7 businesses than 100% of just
Sure.
the one.
Agreed. I love that. Yes, always need. So are you guys doing like a program where you're teaching, you said something on the lines that people just want to listen and be in the rooms with you guys? I know you said you're not doing anything until January, but is there any way to, like, are you doing stuff on your own? Like, do you guys share podcasts? Do you guys do you have a website? Do you guys have a program where someone can purchase it and learn stuff from you guys? Kind of like a membership yet? Okay. We'll definitely share that, because this has been so good, guys. Like, we're so like, you two are so sweet, and so we're so grateful to have you on the show today.
No, 100%. I would say we've previously done a capital raising course, an online course. It's still available. We haven't pushed it much recently because the simple reason is there's a couple people out there that are teaching how to capital raise. What we're leaning into now, and it's actually in the works right now, is capital raising, but for the lending side. Nobody's talking about how to protect the lender, what paperwork to use, how to be a better lender.
That's so important to me. Like, I think that's a little okay, so that's my hesitation. Isn't so much that I don't, it's like, how do I do this so that anybody that raises, that I collect money from, or that goes into our pot, how do we make sure that they're taken care of? That is, well, I found him. You're in front of my face right now. You realize I am not going anywhere. I was thinking, how about if I take your course and film myself doing it? I will totally do that. I don't know. This is like so rad. Thank you so much. Frankie's so happy. He's like, chill. I love that. Thank you.
Now is time for the most important question, though.
Important question of the day.
I'm going to start with Vin on this one, because you called yourself an alpha, so you teed this one up for me. Vin, what does it mean to you to be an REI Baddie?
To me, being an REI Baddie, I'm going to change a little bit to an REI mofo, so it's a little more masculine. And that's the PG version of it. But for me, it means being consistent, showing up. If you say you're going to do something, do it. I think a perfect example was, the deal that went sideways. We committed to that PML that we promised a return on the investment. We could have walked away, but we said this is what we guaranteed.
This is it.
We're going to do it regardless. And so for me, I would say being consistent, showing up, and do what you say you're going to do. I think it's really as simple as that. And
I love that. I mean, that's what it is, for sure.
Yeah, and I think most people kind of miss the mark on one of them or all of them. You'd be surprised if you just do that for 90 days. Just do it for 90 days. You'll see the difference in 90 days.
I love that. All right, Michelle, what makes you an REI Baddie? I know. Love that. That is so true, because we can also get very, like, in our little box, too, because we work so much in front of the computer, and we're just in our offices, and it's nice to get out and just, like, give that knowledge, too.
I really just want to take an opportunity to, again, just thank you for sharing your story and insights today. I know, because I see it, what you're building with Amigos Club is absolutely incredible, and I know it's going to inspire so many of the listeners that are here today. And then for everyone who is tuning in, if you want to connect with Vin and Michelle to learn more about their work in multifamily and the Amigos Club, please check out the links that are going to be in the show notes. And I would be remiss if I did not say, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you've loved this conversation, please drop us a review. It helps us find more baddies like you. Kate, you want to take it away from here?
Well, until next time, keep taking action, keep raising that bar, and keep building that legacy that will last forever. We'll see you guys on the next episode of REI Baddies. And who is our next? Do we have somebody that's coming next week? We don't know yet. We'll let you know in the show notes. Hey, you know what? They did go to Owners Club this weekend, and they did have an incredible time. So we're just like, but no, thank you again for, thanks for coming on, and we look forward to working together. Well, I do. Well, we do.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.